Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And on this 10-minute moan, I'm going to discuss two topics. The first thing I'm going to discuss is Nicola Sturgeon and her absolute lies to the Scottish public during COVID. And after that, I'm going to look at the sort of party norm of just deny. Cover that in part two. So the first thing I want to look at with Nicola is I'm going to show you a short video of Nicola's press conference from the 30th of June 2020. You know, those PR stunt, almost party political broadcasts that we had to endure through COVID when we had nothing really to do. Those ones. So here we are. This is one of the responses from her press conference, the 30th of June 2020.
But in terms of the constitutional arguments, right now my focus is on tackling this virus and doing my duty to the people of Scotland and doing that to the best of my ability. In terms of the wider and future arguments about Scotland's constitutional future, people will make their own minds up on that and they will draw their own conclusions. And part of the process that they will go through, I'm sure, in coming to these conclusions is watching how the Scottish Government conducts itself and watching how Boris Johnson's government conducts itself, and they will come to their own conclusions. But right now my focus is on tackling this virus, because I think any leader who's doing their job properly right now would have that as absolutely their central focus, and then of course trying to guide the country through a sustainable recovery from it.
So there we have it. We quite clearly have Nicola telling you that nobody should be talking about constitutional things, and you should be, any leader, all leaders around the world, their only sole purpose right now should be leading us through this horrific time caused by the COVID crisis. Okay? So, let's not beat about the bush. She's telling everybody that's what she's doing. Now, there were other instances where questions were posed and basically we were told independence is off the table just now. We just really need to get COVID done. Okay? However, the 30th of June is very, very important, because now we'll look at a video that I did put out a clip of yesterday. So if you watch yesterday's video, you just skip by the next minute or so, in which there's evidence from the UK COVID inquiry, which is in Edinburgh for a short while, part of its collection of evidence. So just watch this video, please, and the information held in that.
Cabinet minutes, we call it. I think they're called conclusions internally, from the 30th of June 2020. Can we have a look at page 56, please?
Just before you move off this page, I'm just looking to see if I was at this meeting. I don't think I was. But that's fine, I can comment on it.
Thank you. Paragraph 56, please. At letter E, it says that Cabinet agreed that consideration should be given to restarting work on independence and a referendum, with the arguments reflecting the experience of the coronavirus crisis and developments on EU exit. Is this conclusion reached by Cabinet indicative of the fact that the Scottish Cabinet in June 2020 wished to politicise the coronavirus crisis?
I'm reading the wording carefully. Consideration should be given to restarting work. So we would then have, I think there was a set of...
It's the second half of the sentence I think I'm focusing on, Mr Thompson, with the arguments reflecting the experience of the coronavirus crisis.
It's helpful to be reminded of that. So that runs slightly contrary to what I said in my previous answer, and I do acknowledge that.
Right. So what you need to remember is that is also the 30th of June. On the 30th of June 2020, the Scottish Cabinet agreed basically that this would be quite a good thing to help drive independence, that we should use COVID and Brexit as ways of convincing the Scottish people that independence was the way forward. How corrupt have you got to be to in the same day claim two totally opposite things? And we're meant to believe these people. We're meant to, hold them in high regard, trust them, take their word at face value. We shouldn't have to have people like me digging up evidence of lies and treachery from the people whose job is to run the country, run the government at Holyrood. It's shocking. And we'll now come on to the second thing I want to talk about, and that is Humza and the rest of the SNP. There's been 4 stories, and I could go back and give you more examples, but I try to keep these videos as close to 10 minutes as possible. So I'll just stick to 4. Quite recent, very recent in fact. And the first one was another topic, hot potato from the UK COVID inquiry, where Humza Yousaf was asked, I think it was the end of October, very, very recently, he was challenged by journalists to say, and I think it was the Daily Record that actually asked them straight that there was concerns now, there was becoming a sort of rumour of WhatsApp messages being destroyed prior to the UK COVID inquiry. And towards the end of October, Humza quite clearly stated that that was not the case, that nothing had been deleted and everything would be given to the COVID inquiry. Line number 1. Weeks later, we discover that that's not true. Second thing, prior to the arrests of Nicola Sturgeon, her husband, and the party's treasurer in the summer, again, journalists were hearing, rumours and vibes about the branch forum investigation that was investigating the party and high-profile people. And guess what the party said? Bunk 'em. It's not happening. It's all lies. Probably with the caveat it's all inverted commas unionist lies or right-wing lies or whatever today's buzzwords seem to be. So that's us now got 2 things that they totally denied: the WhatsApp message deletion and branch forum investigation. There's quite a famous case that lies at the example number 3, which was the SNP numbers fiasco, where the newspaper went to their PR people saying, we hear that your numbers are falling. The PR guy went and asked the party and was told, no, numbers are great. The numbers are smashing. He then back to the newspapers and, tried to rebuff the story. And it came out weeks later that the party had indeed lost 30,000 members. That was so bad that the PR guy, Murray Foot, resigned on the spot because he had to deal with a party and try and spin their stuff that was evident lies. No these sort of white lies, big massive ones. Just say no when the answer is definitely yes. That's no, you can't worm your way out of that one. And another one which was quite horrific, there was Lanarkshire, I'm sure he was head of Lanarkshire Council, a guy called Jordan Linden. And Jordan Linden, there was accusations that he'd been a sex pest. And again, the party were asked, is this true? And guess what? No, what a rubbish. He's a mudslinging, all this stuff. Now there's 4 very recent occasions where the SNP have quite clearly lied when truths have been put in front of them and have asked to confirm or deny them. They have chosen to deny them. Now, I'm not a PR guy. I'm not a journalist. But I do know that there's very, reasonable ways that these sort of things could be dealt with by a body without having to commit the ultimate fraud of lie. But that's their default setting. Now, if we take those 4 examples, clear, evident examples of the party talking absolute guff when asked simple questions about serious things, if we accept, therefore, that that's enough proof to suggest that they tell lies regularly, where does it stop? That's a simple question. We know they lie, it's proven, it's there in black and white, and anybody that wants to believe they don't lie is living in the cult. So where does it stop? How far back can we go before we find a point in time where the SNP didn't tell lies? And I'm not talking economical with the truth and all these sort of things that make the word lie not so harsh. I'm not talking about silly things. We're talking about sex pests, WhatsApp deletions for a COVID inquiry, a police investigation and your party numbers. These are quite, serious stuff. But their cult is living in a bubble, and they believe that they're beyond any reasonable questioning about their integrity. And it's quite a scary thought when you consider that we're not talking about one person here. We're not talking about, a psychopath here, a lone killer, a mad rapist that would be, working alone. We're talking about a huge body of people here. And unfortunately, yesterday and over the weekend, we can't now just talk about the SNP in this cult of lies. We've got clear evidence there that now this is the same thing that's carried on to civil servants who are meant to be above recourse and, I'd say independent, but they're not meant to have any party political swaying. They're there to support the government. We've now got through the COVID inquiry, general directors of the civil service in the Scottish government joining the gang, telling people his middle name is deniable, whatever, corruption, telling people to tell lies, delete things. This has now reached civil service. And when you're in this sort of bubble and you think nothing's ever going to come back and haunt you, you must be able to just do whatever you want. So my question is for the Scottish people who vote these people in, is to consider, you can deny those 4 things if you want. You look pretty stupid because they're all factual. They're all there in the public domain to measure these people in their level of lies. But if there's 4 examples that are undeniable, they are factual, and through all different parts of the SNP into this cabal of lies, where does it stop? When did it start? We know it's a thing. We're not going to sit and debate that they tell lies based on those 4 examples alone. How far back does it go? And really, is everybody complicit in this? Is there any of them not involved? This is scary, scary stuff. This is, Watergate level stuff. But it just keeps going. It's not one particular thing. There's governments been taken down for one lie. Do you know what I mean? There's parties lost power in parliaments for telling one untruth. There's 4 I've given you a 10-minute video. And if I was so inclined, I could go back and probably put an hour's video out. I don't need to. These people tell lies. And you vote for them. And you shouldn't. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, there'll be some recommendations in the corners. And if you want, subscribe to the channel, you can get notified when I put some more videos out. But the most important thing of all, have a great day. Bye now.